Hi, my name is Jordan Gravlin, and today I'll be talking to you about the 8th principle of selling, and that is if you can make them laugh, you can make them buy. This is for selling principles. Humor can be used to sell. It is one of the best things that you can use to sell a product and to differentiate yourself from another competitor. People who can make others laugh will be remembered more fondly and be remembered more permanently than those who cannot. You have to remember to laugh at yourself first and foremost. As long as you're laughing at yourself, people will more likely laugh as well. If you cannot laugh at yourself, you'll come off as bland and boring, and sometimes that's just not a good look, especially when you're trying to sell something to someone and try to have them remember you. There are several things that you can use to become a student of humor. The very first thing you can use is you can watch comedy or TV shows, comedy in person, stand-up, stuff like that. Watching these things help you understand and make jokes in a certain way. Not only that, but they can give you material to use for your own presentations that you can go out and sell more things. In addition to that, you can study comedy, both by reading books and taking courses. There is a set of courses from Toastmasters. They teach you basically how to speak funny, how to talk in a way that makes other people laugh and can cause people to think that you are a more relatable person. In addition, you should always use real life. Usually, using real life experiences or the history of both parties or of companies or whatever else can cause a person to feel more connected with you, the salesperson. As the salesperson, you want the customer to feel like they are connected to you and can remember you for a long time. Using stories instead of just constantly telling jokes are a fantastic way to cause a customer to remember you for a long period of time. Another thing you can do is to practice physical comedy in front of a mirror. Now, using a mirror, if you can look at yourself and you can practice this physical comedy, it will cause you to be able to understand what is funny when you're practicing physical comedy and what isn't funny. Crashing into things is probably not as funny to someone who's trying to buy something from you as, say, making faces, for example. And in a mirror, you can see exactly what this looks like. If you cannot make yourself laugh with a physical comedy, you probably won't make the person who you're trying to make laugh either. Finally, you should definitely always hang out around other people who are funny if you would like to try to be funny yourself. Hanging around people who are constantly completely serious all the time tends to make you more serious, tends to make the person you're hanging around, just be kind of more stiff. If you hang around other people who are funny, it tends to make you funnier as well. Finally, as I said before, it's important to use stories to make people laugh as well as jokes. Using jokes constantly can cause you to be forgotten. Jokes are more easily forgotten than stories are. And if you make jokes constantly, you kind of sound like you're trying to be too funny, and that kind of puts people off as well. Humor does have a time and a place, however, it's very important to understand and remember where you are and who you're selling to when you're trying to make jokes and try to tell funny stories that make them laugh. People who, for example, were just affected by the Equifax breach would not find it very funny if you made jokes regarding that breach because they find it as a very serious matter. Now, depends on the type of person too, because there are some people that might find some of the stuff funny. But you always have to remember there's a time and a place for humor, as there's a time and a place to be serious. What you have to remember, finally, first and foremost, as I said in the very beginning, humor can be the difference between a customer choosing you or choosing a competitor. If you are hilarious and you make the person laugh and connect with them on a personal level, a customer is more likely to buy from you than your competitor. Whereas if they're funnier than you, it could be very difficult for you to understand that you need to be funnier and you need to try to differentiate yourself from them in order to sell your product. Because after all, with how many products are out in the market today, there are so many similar products, prices, and pitches that the true way to distinguish yourself in the best way is to throw a little comedy in there. Thank you very much.